Hello everybody. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I just want to say thank you so much for all those attending now that are here with me. And I also want to say a big hello to the people watching this back later on. I know that there are a few people doing that. I'm really excited to be talking to you tonight about the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program. All right, I'm actually going to fix my chair. Can I fix my chair? I'm going to get serious for a minute. Let me bring it in. All right. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me, just because I know there are people who will be watching this who do know me a little bit, and there are some people who are watching this who may have no idea who I am at all, and this could be your first encounter with me. My name is Sky Hanley. I'm also known as the Limitless Nutritionist. I'm an exercise specialist, strength and conditioning coach, sports trainer, sports medicine, meditation coach, yoga instructor, blah, 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 all sorts of different things. I'm a qualified chef and obviously a nutritionist with qualifications in health science. That's kind of all the boring stuff though, right? I am actually a real human with a real human story. And I'm not going to tell you all of it tonight, but all you need to know is that, I am somebody who's been 25 kilos overweight. I am somebody who has been completely unhappy in the overwhelm of my own life. I am somebody who has had depression, a long time ago now, and for, I will say a short amount of time in comparison to a lifetime. And I've had to go through the ups and downs of existence. I've had to bring my body back from the brink. And I am, in fact, somebody now living very healthfully with the age of the 30 Days to Healthy Living program and beyond. Living very healthily with a chronic disease. So I actually have MS. I make that no secret. That's just the thing I get to deal with. I understand, we're all a little bit different, but I just wanted to say, to those who maybe don't know me or don't know too much about my story, hello, welcome. I am somebody who's coming to you not from a position of here, let me talk to you about Arbonne because, I'm trying to give you this information and, oh my goodness, Arbonne. I'm coming to you from a place of knowing, all right? I'm coming to you from a place of understanding what it takes to change a life, what it takes to amplify our own best health, what it takes to instill long-lasting sustainable change in our lives. All right. So I just kind of wanted to say that. I didn't want to do too much of a big introduction to me. I just know that there will be a few people watching this who don't know me, who, as I said, this is, going to be your first, what is it? Baptism of fire? Is that the saying? Baptism of fire in meeting me, all right? I'm going to keep my swearing to a minimum tonight. Sometimes that happens too, but we're going to go with zero swearing, so let's see how well I do. All right, 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond. There is a lot of content to get through tonight, all right? I do talk fast. I sometimes get the hiccups. I'll just let you know that. Now. Yes, that made sense. And as I said, there's so much content to get through because I want to really make sure that I'm giving you the best of the best information. First and foremost, these are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. So the current issues with the modern day diet. What's going on with our health. Steps to healthier living. So we're actually going to talk about 5 different steps to healthier living. So in those two first points, current issues with modern health and the steps to healthier living, you're going to get jam-packed information, all right? Words are going to come out of my mouth super, super fast. But again, I want to make sure that that you're walking away from this, let's go with 30 to 40 minutes, with total amplified information that you're going to be able to action from the word go, as well as obviously at the end, I'm going to talk about the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program, because let's face it, that's part of the reason that we're here, is to find out why, in all of my skepticism, in all of my health science, in all of my understanding, and all of my years of experience and all the things that I am and all the rest of it, why I can sit here with absolute confidence and absolute pride in this program and everything that it stands for and everything that it doesn't stand for. We're going to talk about some of those things and why I get so excited being able to bring you not only this information, but then a solution to the problems of I guess, modern day diet and all the different things that are going on in our lives. All right. How does that sound? Does that sound pretty good? All right, let's jump in. So a few statistics that might surprise you, all right? The number one killer is actually worldwide. I was about to say Australian-wide. Worldwide is actually heart disease. And a lot more women are dying of heart disease in this day and age. It's a bit of a silent killer for women. And it's actually more, like as you can see the statistic there, it's actually more than all cancer deaths combined, all right? 2 out of 3 Australians are overweight and obese, which is obviously contributing to things like heart disease, to things like autoimmune conditions, to things like obviously diabetes being a lifestyle epidemic, and the problem is getting worse, all right? For the first time, we're thinking that our children, so I'm 33, our children are going to actually, we're actually going to outlast our children. All right. And that's really scary when you think about it. Like all these different things, heart disease is killing people, cancer, toxicity, deficiency. We'll talk about some of those things, overweight, and our children are actually getting sicker and sicker. On average, we're consuming about 1 to 1.5 kilograms of sugar each week. Isn't that crazy? And a little bit disgusting, like so concerning, right? And sort of gone are the days of us thinking fat's making us fat. It's really not that at all. What's poisoning us in, this day and age is actually sugar, and the fact that we're consuming so much of it on a regular basis, weekly, yearly, over a prolonged period of times, all right? Our body's appearance and overall health, 10% is determined by our genetics, all right? 10% results from training and exercise. So you want to make sure that, you're obviously exercising and doing good output in this world as well. And 80% is determined by nutrition. Now, I'm a nutritionist. I probably could have told you that, it all kind of happens in the kitchen, right? But yeah, 10% is genetics. So you might have something already written into your genes, but what you have to then have is a catalyst, okay? And a catalyst to disease, or a catalyst to, obesity or sickness or ill health or did I say obesity? I think it was the first thing I said, but being overweight even, the catalyst to those sorts of things are generally exercise and nutrition related. All right. So you will express your genes differently if you are eating 1.5 kilograms of sugar every week. Your genes will change and they will, and it'll be a catalyst to disease or something, terrible like that. All right. So the common health issues with modern day diet, we are overfed and undernourished, all right? So we're craving, like look at that photo. It's so beige. It makes me really unhappy. I'm all for eating a rainbow. We will talk about that later. But yeah, that photo there, that doesn't appetize me, at all. And hopefully, that doesn't make your salivary glands, start going either. We are overfed and undernourished, all right? Which basically means we just keep eating and eating and eating white refined carbohydrates, saturated fats, alcohol, all these different things. And we're undernourished because the food that we're eating is just generally void of all nutritional components whatsoever, all right? We may as well be eating cardboard. Would probably be better. 70% of our Western diet is made up of processed and convenient foods, all right? Takeaways, things like that, meat, dairy, poultry, loaded with hormones and antibiotics. They're having a longer lasting effect. Again, that can be a catalyst to disease, to changing our genetic makeup or setting something off within us. We are high in sodium, artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners are the devil, let me tell you. At least your body recognizes sugar as a food substance. Artificial sweeteners like Equal, Splenda, aspartame, all of those, they are the devil, all right? They literally are, void of all nutritional components whatsoever. They work as poisons in our body. You really, really want to steer clear of artificial sweeteners, okay? As a society, we're yo-yo dieting more, focusing on counting calories, which is just sending people insane, right? I talk to so many people, whether it was, through my nutritional clinic, through, other work that I do now. And I just sort of say, look, we don't want to make nutrition another stressor in our lives. We have enough stresses, right, without making nutrition one of them. We want to know that what we're putting in is nourishing, is high in nutrients, is what our body needs without having to sit there and count calories. Calories is actually the least, lack of a better word, intelligent way that we can count food. All right, it's more about macronutrients, which are proteins, carbs, and fats. Vitamins and minerals are our micronutrients, all the things that we need in large amounts, so that our body ticks over, and our body recognizes those things and knows what to do with them. So if you're sort of there calorie counting and worry about that sort of thing, it's very much diet mentality. We are destroyed by the diet world, and you want to step away from that and relax, your thinking, and and step more towards nourishing foods, because then at a certain point, the calories don't quite matter because your body knows what to do with those foods, right? So we're eating crappy carbs, which are white refined carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are not the devil. They are our body's natural energy source. We have to have a certain amount. But it's the quality of the carbohydrate that we're having, like white bread, white pasta, white rice, white sugar, white flour, all these things, void of all nutritional components whatsoever, all right? That means there is no nutritional factor to them, and they work in our body as if we are sticking our spoon in the sugar jar. All right, so you may as well just be doing that, because that's how white refined carbohydrates, the crappy ones, like what's in that photo, that's how they actually react in our body, all right? We're not detoxifying. We're going to talk about detoxifying in a second, and why it is so important. All right. We have dysfunctional digestive, symptoms and systems as well. They're just not functioning the way that they're meant to. We're super stressed out in our daily lives as well, which really wreaks havoc on our digestive system too. So we want to make sure that we're giving our digestive system, rest and digest, stepping away from fight and flight, and giving our digestive system the best opportunity that we possibly can give it to work in the appropriate manner, all right? And we are lacking energy. Is anyone else? Just give me a hell yeah out there if you're, lacking energy, poor mood and attitude. Let's talk symptoms in a second, all righty? So identifying your health goals. Maybe you want to feel healthier and look better. I love that, health is rated in so many more ways than just the number on a scale. You are so much more than the number on a scale. I could literally teach you a seminar in that one sentence, or about that one sentence alone, all right? We should not be weighing our worth as a human being on this planet with the number on a scale, all right? Health is so much more than that, and you are so much more than that, all right? You might want to lose weight, and that's totally okay. You might want to detoxify your body. You want to get healthier in general. You might want to reduce your body mass index. No, I'm after body fat is the words that I was after. You might want to reduce your body fat. You might want to amplify or increase your muscle mass. That's totally fine as well, all right? Reducing our toxic load. We're really stepping as a society more towards holistic health and holistic living, which is amazing. I think the word holistic is overused just a little bit, because it's sort of like it's become this buzzword, but at the same time, it kind of really explains the thing that we want, right? Like reducing our toxic load, living a more holistic life, not pumping our body full of crap. All right, we want increased energy. Like, isn't that a real tangible thing that you would like in your own existence? Improved sleep quality, improved nutrient intake, all right? We might want improved nutrient intake, but really when we think about it, we want to look at better in dresses. We want to feel happier in our lives. We want to increase our energy. Like, these are the tangible things that generally when we're identifying our health goals, this is kind of the stuff that we're after, right? But all of these other things we can do all at the same time, and so that's what's totally amazing. All right, let's talk about toxicity. I love this bathtub analogy. Basically what it is that, look, let's read what's right there. When water is coming into the tub at a faster rate than it can drain out, the tub will overflow, all right? So we want to think about the bathtub as if it's our body. We are pumping so much crap into our body all of the time, into our body, in our mouths, on our skin, in our hair. Like, look at this. Trust me, there are plenty of chemicals in here. Thank God they are more natural chemicals now. Thank you, Arbonne. Like the makeup that we're wearing, like everything. Like, we are just so toxic in this day and age, and we're just constantly bombarding our body, and our body actually can't keep up. So what's happening is, our detoxification channels are on overload, and the bathtub, just keeps spilling over and over and over. And one of the only ways that our body can actually deal with, an excess of toxicity is by adding it to our adipose tissue. And our adipose tissue is our white fats, all the squishy stuff around our tummy and our butts and our thighs and all the rest of it. That's our adipose tissue. And so often when we're toxic, we can sometimes be a little bit squishy around the edges too, right? Because that adipose tissue, those squishy white fats on the outside, are actually there protecting us from the excess toxicity that is actually being dumped into our system. Being a little bit chubby around the edges is a protection mechanism, and it lets us know, and it's a warning system as well to say, hey, maybe you're a bit toxic. If we deal with the toxicity, then the weight will come off too. All right, and I've got another diagram for you that'll explain that a little bit further in a second. So look, let's talk about the skin. I mean, I just brought it up, right? It's not just about what we eat. What we are putting in our mouths or what we are putting on our skin is just as important as what we are putting in our mouths, if not more so. It's both. Let's say they're even, all right? 60% of what you put on your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream and internal organs, all right? So if you're using moisturizer, if you're putting a spray on, if you're putting makeup on, you know, whatever else it is that we're doing, all of that is actually absorbed into the skin within about 20 seconds of us putting it on. Crazy, right? So when you eat food, that isn't even, you know, that isn't even absorbed into our digestive system, into our bloodstream as fast as what we're putting on our skin. And there's kind of no barrier, right? We put it on our skin, straight into the bloodstream. Whereas if we're eating food, there's a whole bunch of different kind of channels and digestion and waste, you know, waste management and all sorts of these other areas and things, processes going on in the body that might help get rid of some of the crap that we don't, you know, the toxicity or whatever that we don't want to actually go into our bloodstream. So it is just as important, you know, what we put on our skin is just as important as what we're putting in our mouths, okay? And that's coming from a nutritionist. So you'd think I'd be like all about, you know, what we're putting in our mouths, but I'm saying, you know, if we want to be less toxic, which then also in turn helps us, you know, lose weight, feel better, more energized, look brighter, all that sort of stuff, so important. On average, the average person has 200 chemicals floating around in their system at any one time. Shocking statistic, right? That's why it's so important, all right? You clean your drains. Your body's avenues of elimination include lungs, gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidneys, skin, all right? So we actually have four, I was like, how many is four? Four detoxification channels, all right? Perspiration, so sweating, respiration, so breathing, defecation, and urination, all right? They are our body's only four elimination channels. So we really want to make sure, you know, as I said, we're looking after our digestive system because that's defecation and urination. You know, what we're breathing out, our lungs are actually detoxifying and getting rid of things for us as well. And the same with sweat. And what's one of the things that we do when we first get up in the morning? We put on antiperspirant deodorant. But perspiration is one of our body's only four detoxification channels. So that's how important it is, you know, and I'm not saying don't ever wear deodorant again, but we need to get one that's of good quality, that doesn't have, you know, that isn't full of aluminium and stuff like that. We really want to make sure that we're looking after, you know, what we're putting on our skin. So important, you know, especially when we've only got those few detoxification channels. So could toxicity be affecting, I can't say toxicity fast, be affecting your body, all right? Are you suffering any of these symptoms? Poor memory, headache, migraines, feeling depressed, moody, or I like to say mood and attitude. You know, have we got poor mood and attitude? Tiredness, exhaustion, lethargy, brain fog. Is that up there? Have I already said it? Is that brain foggy in itself? Diarrhea and constipation. So think about it. Let me talk about constipation for a second. If we're backed up, like there are plenty of people out there whose digestive systems, and this might be you, whose digestive systems are not working maybe as well as they should be. And if defecation, so pooping, is one of our body's only four detoxification channels, and we are holding that in for, let's say, 3 days or something, then that muck that's already toxic, that is already a waste product, is now fermenting inside of our digestive system, and then it's also seeping into our digestive, you know, cavities and things like that, which is then going off into the bloodstream. All right. So it says leaky gut down there. Leaky gut is basically muck, poo particles floating around in our bloodstream. That's what leaky gut means, because our gut, you know, that digestive tract is actually leaking out into areas that it shouldn't, and that creates things like inflammation and acidity and, you know, disease and toxicity in the body. So we really want to make sure, again, you know, we're looking after our digestive tract, that we're not constipated. You know, you want to be moving that stuff out, because you don't want to be creating waste products then just storing them, just keeping them inside of you. Like, you see, like, we don't want to do that, all right? We really don't want to do that. And we also don't want things burning through us either, you know, with like diarrhea or a fast metabolism, as some people like to say. We don't want it to be super fast because then you're not absorbing any nutrients from what you're eating as well, all right? So people have reflux, heartburn. I mean, you can see everything that's there. Tummy tenderness, bloating, gas, sinus problems. I'm a bit of a snot, so I sometimes get the hiccups when I'm teaching seminars. I also sometimes have to stop and blow my nose. And absolutely, you know, it can be from things that we're eating and that we're reacting to. It can be from toxicity. So it's so important, you know, again, we're minding our own best health. Pain in joints, poor sleep, anxiousness, hypersensitivity, hyperreactivity, and there's another hyper, but that's fine. Poor metabolism, hormone imbalances. I can put my hand up for that one as well. Back in the day when I was 25 kilos overweight, I was an insomniac. I just wouldn't sleep, and I literally probably had no hormones whatsoever. Like my hormones had just switched off entirely. Right? So that's the power of what our body can be doing when it is totally, totally, totally out of whack, you know? Disease comes from two places, toxicity and deficiency. And we are all toxic and we are all super deficient, all right? So important we're looking after our own best health. Rashes, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, acne, so much of this is tied into our food, like so much. It's crazy, and we'll talk about that some more in a sec. So this is the other diagram that I was going to say, or that I said before, excuse me, that I really, really love, that explains, you know, how to rebalance and that adipose tissue that I was talking about, all right? So diets don't work. They don't work on so many different levels. As a nutritionist, I don't have the time right now to tell you all the different reasons why diets just don't work. And if you've ever dieted yourself, you probably know that. You know, it is a lifestyle change. Again, that's another kind of a buzz sentence that's thrown out there in the world. But what it basically means is that we know that deprivation, starvation, you know, all those sorts of things, because it's a mental game. We want to look after our own best health because we matter. You know, so if we're trying to do that through calorie counting, through deprivation, through starvation and all the rest of it, we just kind of constantly, what is it like pushing, there's a saying, pushing a rock uphill, we'll go with that. That's kind of what we're doing, right? So we don't want to be doing that. We want to rate ourselves highly enough to want to look after our own best health long term and implement long lasting sustainable change. And I guess that's kind of why you're here. You know, you want some answers, you know, in how to do that in your own life. Okay. So this is what does work, all right? We want to do cellular cleansing, okay? And what that basically means is that, as I said, if we're looking after the toxicity in our body, if we are looking after our own best health, if you have weight loss as a goal, then the weight will come off anyway because it can't not. It's that simple, all right? If we are going for the goal of weight loss, what actually happens is even if we're trying to lose weight and we're doing all these things and we're stressing, which dumps a whole bunch of stress chemicals into our body, which actually makes us gain weight, that's a conversation for another day. But if we're stressing our way, we're depriving, we're doing starvation mode, you know, we're working out, we're doing all this sort of stuff, yeah, maybe we're losing a little bit of weight, but what did I say before about the adipose tissue, the squishy white fats on the outside? They are dumping toxins back into our bloodstream, back into our body. It's why when people do like detoxes can be done really badly. They can be done really well, all right? I'm definitely not against doing a detox. You know, it's so important for our body that we're detoxifying in the appropriate way. But some people will do these like crash bang detoxes and they actually start to feel a little bit sick. And that sickness is actually those toxins that are being released back into our system, all right? And so if we're not detoxifying and doing particular things like eating, you know, deep green leafy vegetables or a greens powder, if we're not finding ways to flush our system, then again, those toxic chemicals are just going to circulate back through us and then be dumped back into the adipose tissue, you know, make us feel a bit sick, make us gain weight again, you know, all these different things. That's why kind of looking after weight as weight loss is not the best way around it. We want to detoxify the body first and foremost. We want to do cellular cleansing because that's how we're actually going to have maintenance, because once we're looking after our own best health, the weight will come off anyway. And you might not even want weight loss. That's okay. Maybe you do. But irregardless, I can tell you as a nutritionist and as a society, we definitely need to detoxify, all right? Bring those toxins in our daily lives down and reap the health benefits of that if that's things like looking brighter and plumper in our skin, having better mood and attitude, having more energy, giving the people that we love in our lives the best of us, not the worst of us, all those different things. If we're looking after our own best health, then those things will follow. All right, so I actually can't see what that says down there. 5 keys to healthy living. Of course it does. 5 keys to healthy living. All right, a new way of living. 5 keys to health. We're actually going to go over these as well, all right? So 1, create a healthy gut and healthy elimination organs. All right, so we've talked about that a little bit. We want number 2 is eat clean. What the hell does that mean? Well, we'll talk about that. 3, increase nutrient intake. So important, right? 4, balance blood sugars, pH, and boost metabolism. And 5, exercise, sleep, and mindfulness. All right, so let's jump into those, the 5 keys to better health. All right, so create a healthy gut. I love this top saying. I think that's really amazing. River of life or river of death. Doesn't that just, it just explains it right there, really, we could be eating poor foods and going toxic and having a leaky gut and being bloated and eating inflammatory foods, or maybe you drink Coke all day long, which is super acidic, all these different things. That's obviously going to create a river of death. All right, because we're going to be toxic. What did I say before? Disease and ill health comes from toxicity and deficiency. And if we have a poor gut, then I can tell you, even when you're eating like good foods and stuff like that, our body is acidic. It's not going to absorb them appropriately. Whether you're backing up your toxins from constipation, whether it's running through you from, the other. It's so important that we're looking after our own gut. Our gut is also known as the second brain because there's so much going on in there. Things such as, 90% of our serotonin is one of our neurotransmitters, which is a happy chemical. 90% of serotonin is created in the gut. All right, so if you suffer anxiety or depression or overwhelm or burnout or, all those sorts of things, if you just want to feel happy in your life, happy and energized and bright and whatever, like vitality and those sorts of things, got to look after our guts, right? The other thing is, are you sick of being sick? Are you sick of being sick of suffering symptoms or conditions, concerns, disease or ill health, obesity, all those different things, because our immune system is created in the gut first and foremost. So again, if we're literally pouring things like Coke or energy drinks or, alcohol and all these different things like straight into that second brain of the body, we are actually more bacteria than we are human parts. I'm going to repeat that again. We actually are more bacteria than we are human parts. There are more bacteria in us and on us than there are human cells in the human body. Okay, there are some great TED Talks on that you can Google if you don't believe me, but I promise you that, right? So we need to look after those little guys. All right, that's why gut health is so important in this detoxification process. It's not all about weight loss. We want to look after our own best health, and to do that, we want to make sure that we're first and foremost looking after our gut health. Alrighty, eating clean. So what does that mean? We want to eliminate acidic, allergenic foods and food additives, inflammatory foods. All right, so things like refined sugars or white refined carbohydrates, as I said before, white rice, white pasta, white bread, white flour, white sugar. Sometimes I feel like I forget one in there, and then I remember I'll scream it out in my sleep later tonight. Processed foods, so heavily processed and packaged foods. I'm not saying eliminate them entirely, but we want to make better choices and pick better ones. Get really intelligent about the things that we're eating. Alcohol, we don't want to overdo it, and sometimes we need to take a step back for a little while to then take a step forward. All right, because again, it's an acidic, flavored ethanol. We want to make sure that we're stepping away from some of those things sometimes. Coffee again is really acidic, or energy drinks. High fructose corn syrup. We're pretty lucky here in Australia. There's not too many things that have high fructose corn syrup in it, but it's really, really bad. Vegetable oils, saturated fats, trans fats in particular, the worst of fats, gluten and dairy. All right. And to be honest with you, gluten and dairy are probably some of the most important things on that list, absolutely, that we need to step away from. Okay. And I'm actually going to tell you why now. So let me tell you something, you know, as I said, I'm obviously a nutritionist. I've actually been gluten-free and dairy-free by choice longer than I've been a nutritionist, because I understand that those foods are bad for our health. It's that simple. There's a reason that people become kind of intolerant. So I'm not intolerant to them by any means, but I understand them. I'm going to explain some of that now. But I understand them enough to know that they don't speak to my best overall health. And there are reasons that people are allergic or intolerant to them, because they are inflammatory foods. We are not meant to consume them, you know, in the amounts that we do in this day and age, and we're not really meant to consume them too much at all right? So gluten is actually two proteins found in wheat, rye, barley, spelt, oats, all those sorts of things. Think bread, basically, and a whole bunch more, all right? Flour plus water equals glue. All right, it's that simple. So gluten, or the protein, has changed over hundreds of years. Things like oats, if you got oats in like Europe or something like that, those don't actually have gluten in them, all right, because they haven't been as heavily processed as, say, the ones that we get here in Australia. All right, gluten is an inflammatory food. Okay, it literally, you know, it turns our intestines into glue, as it stops, as it says here. It stops the villi. So the villi are like these guys. We have our intestinal tract, then we have villi. They do this, all right? And all the food particles and everything goes between all the villi that are going la, la, la. And that's what actually, that's actually how food or nutrients gets absorbed through the digestive system into our blood, okay? So if we're covering those villi, you know, that are meant to be like, yeah, if we're covering those in glue, you know, from gluten, then of course they're going to be inflamed, you know, because they can't actually do what they're meant to be doing, and the particles can't get through, and they might get blocked, which obviously is then going to cause irritation, you know, and backing up. The nutrients aren't going to get to the rest of our body, you know, yeah, and so much more, all right? So we really need to stay away from gluten as best as we can, alrighty? Let me just see what it says here. Results in inflammation and can cause worsening of chronic conditions and decreased immunity. So one of the reasons, obviously, you know, I continue to choose not to consume gluten is, one, because I understand, you know, the science in it, that it's not actually good for us, that it you know, that it backs up our ability to absorb nutrients, that it's an inflammatory food, which is why people are intolerant and allergic to it, but it also decreases our immunity and increases the likelihood of chronic conditions. And so, yeah, super important to kind of stay away. Now, I don't get on my high horse about too many things, but dairy is in fact one of them, right? So we are the only species on the planet that consumes the milk or the dairy of another animal. We are the only species on the planet that consumes dairy or mother's milk our entire lives. So dairy is actually acidic. All right, dairy does not put calcium into our bones. Vitamin D puts calcium into our bones, and we actually get enough calcium in our diet as long as we're eating or consuming deep green leafy vegetables, which also come with vitamin D. So vitamin D is the transporter for calcium, all right? It's a bit of a mixed up thing there, where we think, oh no, but we have to have dairy because that's what puts calcium into our bones, right? No, we get plenty of calcium, and without vitamin D, calcium's not going anywhere. It's just going to cause more acidity in the body, all right? Let me go back to the first couple of things I said. We are the only species on the planet that consumes the milk of another animal. The way I like to think about it is that cow's milk is to make a 400-kilo cow. So if we want to be a 400-kilo cow, we should continue consuming dairy in the amounts that we do in this day and age, all right? It is acidic, it is inflammatory, it is full of antibiotics and other chemicals and things like that, hormones and you know, all sorts of things, all right? If we want to be 400-kilo sick cows, then we should continue consuming dairy. You know, mother's milk is there to grow us for a certain amount of years at the beginning of our lives, and then we're meant to stop, all right? So much so that, again, you know, people are intolerant to dairy because, in fact, there's lactase is the enzyme that breaks down dairy, right? Lactase, as we age, stops working in our body because we're not meant to keep producing it our entire lives. We're meant to produce lactase for the first few years and be done with it. But because we keep, you know, having cow's milk, cheese, you know, dairy, yogurt, all these different things all the time, you know, it actually, our body goes, oh God, I have to keep making all this lactase, and we start to burn burn it out because we're not meant to be making it anymore, all right? So it is inflammatory, acidic, you know, all these different things. You know, it's tied into so many diseases, you know, obesity, you know, heart conditions, all sorts of things, all right? So we really want to make sure that we're stepping away from gluten and dairy, all right? They are the two, I don't know, wolves dressed as sheep, maybe? Is that a saying? If you've never met me, I seem to forget sayings, or I kind of accidentally meld two sometimes as well. So we'll just go with that, you know, wolves dressed as sheep. That's basically what gluten and dairy are. So we really want to stay away from them, okay? Number 3, increase nutrient intake, all right? So you want to make sure that half of your plate is like, is whole food, you know, plant-based material, all right? Organic as often as possible, because again, there's so many herbicides, pesticides, things along those lines contained within and or on vegetables and stuff like that. If we can get organic, you know, it's better for us, because otherwise we're just pumping ourselves with more toxins, right? A quarter of your plate should be lean protein. 1/8, you know, high fat, so omegas, avocado, olive oil, coconut, 100% grass-fed butter, you know, things like that, all right, and 1/8 carbohydrates. So again, carbohydrates are not the devil by any means. You know, it's the type of carbohydrate that we often have in our modern diet that is the problem. So as long as we're having like brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat, amaranth, you know, all these different whole grains that are not gluten containing are really amazing for us, you know, and we can definitely consume them on a daily basis, all right? And we want to make sure that we're supplementing with a green balancer as well, because it's always good, especially when detoxifying. We can eat, you know, like a whole food plant-based diet plus lean protein plus healthy fats and carbohydrates. But if we're detoxifying, giving ourselves a little bit of a green booster or something, you know, greens are very detoxifying. They're binders. So they basically go, oh, look at all this like crap floating around in our system. Let's bind to that and then pass it out, all right, which is what we want, especially, you know, while we're detoxifying the body, bringing back good health, you know. We forget how good feels, because most of us are used to walking around feeling like crap, right? So it's so important that, you know, we're doing these things. And once you start feeling, you know, brighter, more alive, less foggy, you know, more energized, you know, all that sort of stuff, it's amazing. All right, decrease inflammation. So this is really important. We want to decrease inflammation and acidity within the body, okay? We want to balance our blood sugars, which is going to be really good for our hormone spectrums, especially us females. You know, and we want to, look after our pH as well, and ensure that we're, you know, finding that balance between acidity and alkalinity. You know, we're meant to be nice and in the middle. So that's really important, sort of a neutral homeostasis, big words level, all right? What else do I want to tell you about this? That's kind of it. You know, we really want to just make sure, like, actually, this is what I want to tell you. Inflammation is not the devil. Inflammation is there for a reason, but the problem in this day and age is we have too much inflammation. So think about it. If you rolled your ankle, what actually brings healing to your damaged ankle, to the ligaments and things like that, is blood and inflammation, all right? Because contained within that blood and inflammation are all the properties, you know, that we need, the healing properties are contained within that, that's going to, you know, heat the area up, try to heal it for us, okay? So inflammation is not the devil. We actually need a certain amount of inflammation in our body, or an inflammatory response that is, you know, working for us. What the problem is that we are so acidic and so inflamed and, you know, and leaky guts and, you know, toxic and, you know, decreased immunity and, you know, decreased nutrient availability and all these different things, right? Toxicity and deficiency, that inflammation is wreaking havoc in our bodies, you know, and this is, again, where sort of, you know, conditions, concerns, disease, symptoms, you know, all of that sort of stuff comes from. It's not inflammation's fault, it's the excess of inflammation's fault. And the reason we have excess inflammation, it's probably ourselves, right? Like it's probably our fault. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right, and number 5, exercise, mindfulness, and sleep. These are just equally as important, all right? So you can eat all the right foods and you can exercise all you want. If you are on a sleep-deprived, stressed out, dehydrated body, then biochemically you're stuffed. All right. So it's so important that, again, holistic, we're looking after all of these things all together. I know it seems like a lot, but as long as you're looking after your nutrition, your exercise, you're minding your mind health, you're getting enough sleep, and you're staying hydrated, bada bing, bada boom, all good. All right. So exercise is an important component of cleansing, increasing energy, metabolism, detoxification. All right. It burns off excess blood sugars. If we have an excess of blood sugar, right, what happens is insulin comes along. Insulin is our fat storing hormone, and it's going to stick it to our butt. All right. So we want to make sure that we're exercising, to burn off any extra blood sugars, to bring our hormones back in balance, to burn extra calories, increase our metabolism. It increases the quality of our sleep. It increases neurotransmitter production. So again, our happy chemicals. So exercise is so imperative in our daily lives. All right. Our thoughts also obviously have a huge impact on how we feel, achieving our goals, and behave. What we think we bring about, all right? So as I said, you can eat all the right foods and you can exercise all you want. If you are in a stressed out body, then you are stuffed. So you really want to make sure that you're looking after your own best brain health. And two of the biggest stresses on the body, as I said, is sleep deprivation and dehydration. All right, and the last thing that I just wanted to add in here, as we were already kind of talking about it a little bit, obviously we want to look after nutrition and step away from inflammatory foods and acidic foods, and we want to look after exercise and stress and mindfulness and sleep and whatever. And as I said at the beginning, we also want to look after the skin. Our skin is the largest organ. It is an elimination organ as well, because obviously we're sweating, which is pushing those toxins out. If people have really stinky sweat, it generally means they're more toxic, right? So we really want to make sure that we're stepping away from, chemical-filled, aluminium-filled, like things like toothpaste even. And I'm not saying don't ever brush your teeth, but toothpaste has 27 different chemicals in it. And this is really thin skin, the skin that's in our mouth, right? So we want to make sure that we're swapping out our deodorant, or maybe swapping out our, the products that we're using on our face, just to try to reduce that toxic load, all right? And I know that we're not here to fully talk about this today. If you're interested, give me a hell yeah, let me know, and I can actually send you a copy of another seminar that I have done and put together and teach in relation to skin and our toxic world, all right, because it's so important. Right up there with nutrition. It's equally as important, all right. So look, the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program, how exciting. This program, what it's not, alrighty? So the program is not a rapid weight loss program, a deprivation or starvation or liquid diet. It's not meant to be, and it is not a liquid diet, all right? It is not one size fits all either. What it is about is amped up nutrient availability, decreasing things like the inflammatory foods, the acidic foods, stepping away from all of those, giving our digestive system a rest, letting our body detoxify. It's about having different things, consuming different things that are going to also help in that detoxification, pathway as well. All right. It's about reprogramming your body to move more effectively, and move more efficiently. It's about, cellular regeneration. Our cells actually rejuvenate every 90 days. And what it is that we're consuming and putting on our skin actually plays a massive role in how our cells are actually, like, we are a sum of our cellular health. So we want to make sure that we're really looking after our health and our cells, because our health is tied into the expression of every single cell in the human body, all right? This program is also, there to reduce food cravings, renew unhealthy skin, create new daily habits, reset your metabolism, and all of those sorts of amazing things. And if you want weight loss, yes, that is, a side product of actually looking after your own best health. But you probably already knew that, right? Like, we know, we kind of innately know how to look after our own health, or what we kind of should be doing. We just want easier ways and tools to be able to do that and affect that change in our life, right? So that's what this 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program is about. It is 30 days. It's not something that you have to go on forever and ever and ever. It's not something you're going to bounce back from, or you're going to fall apart, or it's going to yo-yo your system. It's just another yo-yo diet or a liquid diet. They're all the things that it is not, all right? It is purely for our own best health. Hence why, you know, I sit here as a nutritionist, as an expert in my field on so many different levels. I'm, you know, an author, an international author of 2 books now, you know, and I can sit here and say, you know, how amazing these products are, how much they absolutely line up with everything that I know and understand in my, you know, years and years and years of study in health science, in nutritional medicine and all the rest of it. You know, I am a person of integrity, and I couldn't be sitting here promoting this stuff otherwise, you know, unless it was top notch. All right, so what do you get with your 30 Days to Healthy Living program? So now we're actually going to talk about the products, because I guess you kind of want to know, like, we've talked about all this health stuff, we've talked about the problems, we've talked about what's going on in our body. Now let's talk about the solution, you know, something that we can actually do for our own best health that's going to affect change, you know, and make us feel a million times better, all right? So, boom. What you actually get as part of your 30 Days to Healthy Living program or package. We're going to go through it individually, and then I'm going to tell you all as a bit of a whole, all right? Because I know you're getting like information overload right now. You can watch this back a few times if you need to. That's totally fine. Or just reach out and say hi, and you know, I can give you a hand. So the first thing is protein. All right, so you can either get currently a protein shake or a meal replacement shake. So there are actually 2 options. I myself pick the meal replacement version, but either, both are actually amazing. All right, so the protein in these products are obviously not dairy-based proteins, because we want to be stepping away from the dairy, stepping away from the gluten, the acidity things, the inflammation, all right? So it's actually yellow pea, alfalfa, brown rice, cranberry, CoQ10. CoQ10 is amazing. It's actually an energizer. It's part of our energy pathway. Arbonne actually has this other product called Mind Health, that has CoQ10 in it as well. I love taking that in the morning, just because, you know, it's part of our energy pathways. It wakes us up. So that's actually already in our protein as well. And flaxseed. Let me just talk about alfalfa for 1 second. Alfalfa is like a underrated superfood. You just think of alfalfa, right, as that kind of sprout thing. You just throw it on top of something and all the rest of it, away you go. You probably have the tiniest little bit amount. It is genuinely a superfood. It is so packed full of nutrients, including protein. How crazy is that? Like, it is such an amazing superfood. It is so underrated, you know, and it's probably not sexy enough. I don't know, like acai berries or, you know, all the different things, right? But to be using this in our proteins is amazing. Now, the way that Arbonne does their products is they literally take the whole food and they grind it down into a powder, and away we go. All right, so there's no like heavily processed, it's not bleached and stripped of all nutrient components whatsoever. You know, it's not you know, whatever, yeah, like destroyed in you know, within an inch of its life, basically. All right, they literally take the whole food components, they put it together, and then they grind it down. Okay, and then once they kind of grind it down, obviously into a whole food protein sauce with you know, chocolate and vanilla or vanilla flavorings, you know, ready to go. So they are vegan proteins. Just because they're vegan doesn't mean that you need to be. But you know, we obviously want to be dairy free. It's so important to step away from that. There is also 20 essential vitamins and minerals contained within the protein mixes or the meal replacement, as well as fiber. You know, amino acids. There is 9 grams of sugar. Now, 4.2 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon, all right? So technically, there's 2 teaspoons of sugar in the protein per serve. However, it actually comes from stevia, so it's stevia sugar, which, as you know, like stevia is a like stevia leaf or stevia root. Again, are really natural sources of sweetness, and pure cane. Now, let me explain to you something about cane sugar, right? So there is like white refined table sugar, you know, what you put in your coffee or something like that. That's not cane sugar, okay? Cane sugar is literally snapped off the cane, you know, ground down and put into this product, all right? And what that means is that it's super low GI. GI is glycemic index. It's how much it's going to spike blood sugar in your body. And remember what I said before, if we spike our blood sugar, insulin comes along. Insulin's our fat storing hormone, is going to stick it to our butt, tummy, and thighs, all righty? So With pure cane sugar, it's low GI. It doesn't actually set off the same, like blood sugar reaction, this flooding of excess that something like, table sugar or whatever actually does, white refined carbohydrate, void of all nutritional component whatsoever. All right, so pure cane sugar, totally fine for us. All right, so even though, yeah, there's 9 grams of sugar just to give it a bit of sweetness, it's not overly sweet, it's quite good actually. It's not damaging sugars by any means. I wouldn't be promoting it if I didn't understand that contained within it. If it was like 2 teaspoons of sugar, I'd be like, no, like white refined carbohydrate, blah blah. But it's pure cane, ripped off the cane, the cane tree, bush, vine. What would you call it? Cane, ground down, away we go. All right. No cholesterol, trans fats, soy or whey. All right, is really important as well. So none of those, no artificial sweetness, flavors, or anything. All right, and it's alkalizing as well. So it's not acid forming in our body. That is the protein. You also get greens balancer. Now, I find it ironic that it's called greens balancer, because really it should be called rainbow balancer, because it has so many different colors in it. Now, I said before, we have macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats. We also have micronutrients, and our micronutrients are vitamins and minerals, all right? And our vitamins and minerals are, everything from potassium, magnesium, vitamin A, B, C, D, K, all of that sort of stuff, all right? So the easiest way to think about our diet, is that we want to make sure our nutrition, is that we want to make sure that we're eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, eating a rainbow, because if we don't have that full rainbow of colors, we're actually missing some of the spectrum of vitamins and minerals that we need. And in our daily lives, it's sometimes hard to get things that are blue and purple and stuff like that, right? Or you don't want to just be having tomato all the time as your only red. Does that make sense? So let me just give you an example. Something like magnesium is used for over 200 processes in the human body. So if we are magnesium poor because we're not eating a full rainbow every single day, that's 300 different things that our body has to try to rely on, or rather pull from to try to do the job of magnesium. So again, we're kind of like in this in a stressed out state. Our biochemistry is out of whack because we're magnesium poor. Deficient, toxic, alrighty? So this green balancer is a rainbow, all right? It has all these different things in it from, spirulina, kale, artichoke, broccoli, pomegranate, cherries, yum, red coffee beans, blueberries, blackberries. You can see it all there. Carrot, sweet potato, flax, which is amazing, amazing, amazing for us as well. Quinoa seeds, blah, blah, blah. You can see what's there, right? It's alkalized forming as well. It is a binder because of the greens in it, which means if we're like getting rid of toxins and stuff like that, if we're looking after our own best health and our body's releasing things, that adipose tissue, then we're also like, we want to have some greens that are going to bind and pass it through us, all right? So it is a whole food powder supplying antioxidants and phytonutrients, our vitamins and our minerals, everything we need every single day. The best thing that I like about this green balancer is that it doesn't taste like pond scum, because that's what I found with pretty much every greens powder I have ever had in my life. I understand, obviously, again, as a nutritionist, how important it is to have greens, and have a greens balancer or something like that as a bit of a booster, because we're not always getting everything that we need in our diet. But as I said, the biggest problem was that most of them tasted like licking the rock, licking a rock from the bottom of a pond or something like that, right? So this one actually tastes really good. And funnily enough, you can even put the scoop into your protein shake and you can't even taste it. Right? So it actually tastes really nice, tastes a little bit sweet, I think, from, all the fruits and things that are in it. You can put it in your chocolate protein shake and you cannot even taste it. So it's really good, you just chuck it in and you're already getting everything you need first thing in the morning. Amazing. We also have a daily fiber booster. So fiber is also really good for binding and moving toxins through our body. It's obviously good for our digestive system, which we're trying to do. It is a prebiotic. It feeds our probiotics, if that makes sense. So all the little bacterias and all the rest of it. It's great for them. It slows the rise of blood sugars as well, which is really amazing. So we're not going to spike that blood sugar. Insulin comes along and you remember what happens, sticks it to our butt. Alrighty, so you get the fiber booster in there as well. And again, you just add that to one of your shakes, super easy. Now, this is probably my my favorite thing. I'm like, do I have any near me? I often have them just sitting around here or something. Fizz sticks. All right. So fizz sticks are amazing. So you get these as well. They are alkaline forming. They are clinically proven to boost metabolism and cognitive function. So they have a lot of properties in them, and obviously a lot of B vitamins. They have B vitamins, things like ginseng, rhodiola. Rhodiola is an amazing naturopathic like nervous system balancer and endocrine, which is hormone balancer, and those two systems working together. All right, ginseng, guarana. There's so many amazing, different things within these fizz sticks. You'll absolutely love them. Literally, we have one in the morning as part of this program in a tea called a tizzy. You just have those two things, a tea with a fizz stick in it. It fizzes up, you drink that down, and it is actually, it's slow release caffeine. So there is a little bit of caffeine in here, about half the amount of like an instant coffee, right? So you're not allowed coffee, or you don't have coffee on the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. You have fizz sticks instead. You can have two a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and away you go. And I can tell you, I haven't had coffee in, I reckon, 8 or 9 months now. I was always somebody who needed a coffee every single morning, back away. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Now I just have a fizz stick in the tea. It's slow drip caffeine because it's from green tea extract. It's half the amount and it's perfect. And then I have another fizz stick in the afternoon. That's why I've got like, a little glass just near me from my fizz stick this afternoon. I actually can't have a fizz stick after like 3 or 4 o'clock now in the afternoon, because that amount of caffeine, even though it's half the amount of a coffee that I used to have, we become more sensitive, less inflamed, less acidic, and our body's going to react to things differently and better, and we're going to feel more energized. So I don't actually need that much caffeine anymore. I'm really sensitive to it now, and that's what your body will do too. Once you sort of purge, the toxicity of the acidic coffee and caffeine, that we're consuming, the addictive nature of those things as well. So many amazing health-filled properties contained within these fizz sticks. As I said, the B vitamins and other naturopathic properties in there, which are amazing. So the detox tea, as I just mentioned, you can have a detox tea in the morning with your fizz stick in it, and then have another one before bed or something like that. What I loved about these, when I first heard, I was like, oh, detox tea? Is that like a skinny tea or something? Like, what's that about? Like, yeah, right, okay, some kind of, the skeptic in me was like, oh, okay, it's like a skinny tea, or I don't know, like I just was a bit skeptical on them, right? But then when I saw the ingredients, I went, holy moly, this is everything that I've learned, in relation to herbs and Western Western herbal medicine and things like that, right? Milk thistle, dandelion root, peppermint, licorice, rhodiola, elderflower, all of this sort of stuff absolutely, is master fat burners, as it says there, supports liver function and kidney function, helps our immune system, and kind of drip feeds all of our other systems, gives them just little properties enough to help amplify them and get them working. It is delicious and mild. It is caffeine free, so you can have it at night. There are 9 botanicals in it, genuinely detoxifying you. Again, all of my knowledge in nutritional medicine and health science and all the rest of it backs that up, absolutely, So to have those 9 botanicals contained within this tea alone, again, helping support our detoxification channels, our liver, our kidneys, our mind health, all of those sorts of things is totally amazing. So you can have a couple of those a day, which is great. Now, another amazing product is Digestive Plus. So many products, right? So Digestive Plus, this is our prebiotic, okay? Again, you can stick this in your, your protein shake first thing in the morning. It has a mild flavor, if any flavor at all. It almost tastes like nothing. We want to look after those bacterias. This is those bacterias, all right? So we can put, there are prebiotics, so things like our green balancer feeds good bacteria in our tummy, but we want to make sure that we're putting extra good bacteria in our tummies first and foremost. So this probiotic, in fact, does that, all right? Because we can't do a detoxification, we can't do a health program, we can't do a cellular cleanse without ensuring that we're looking after our own best gut health and supporting our stomach, our intestines, and reducing things like gas and bloating and symptoms of digestive concern like leaky gut or IBS, we want to make sure that we have a good gut environment. As I said before, for our serotonin, our happy chemicals, our immune system, if you're sick of being sick, and every other thing that actually, happens from our second brain first. All right. So starts in the gut, then moves around the rest of the body. So important. Okay, so how does it work? So I've just kind of told you all about the program, or the products, excuse me. I've just told you about the products. Let's talk about the program, all right? How does it work? So what you do is you replace 1 or 2 meals a day with nutrient-rich smoothies, fiber, and greens, and you can put the Digestive Plus in one of those as well, all right? So you might have it for breakfast. You might have a smoothie for breakfast and a smoothie for lunch. Again, it's not a liquid diet. If you want to put berries in there and banana and a handful of spinach and all sorts of different things, absolutely do that. Like you're more than welcome to. It's about the cleansing, and the adipose tissue will want to get rid of itself thereafter, all right? So it's not a liquid diet. They are super filling. You obviously can snack as well. You can have enjoy a detox tea 1 to 2 times a day. Have that tizzy, as we call it, so a tea and a fizz stick together in the morning, first thing in the morning as your pick-me-up. The other good thing about having that first thing in the morning is because it is alkalizing, not acid forming. The biggest problem that we do to our gut, like most normal average people, right, is we get up in the morning, and I used to be this person too, and the first thing we do is put one of the most acidic things on our tummy, which is, like a coffee. And I was a black coffee girl, so I'd have my black coffee first thing in the morning. That is totally acidic. We are destroying our gut from the moment that we get up in the morning. Think of all those little bacteria. We're more bacteria than we are human parts. All right, so this way we're actually creating more alkalinity. We're calming down the acid-forming things and getting rid of inflammation. All right, so you have your 1 or 2 shakes, you have two teas, a couple of fizzies a day. Or a couple of fizz sticks. You eat healthy snacks, so fruit salad, nuts and seeds. There's hummus and and dips and carrot sticks and whatever else you want. Some vegetables and stuff like that. Apple. You can have brown rice thins with avocado and dukkha, all sorts of different things. It's amazing. And then you want to make sure that every day you're also having a really nice balanced meal. Okay, so rainbow, lots of whole food, plant-based stuff, plus healthy fats, plus plus protein. Okay, so that's what a normal kind of day looks like. I know that's a lot of information. So when you decide to go on this program, don't worry, you're getting constant support from people like me. So don't be like, oh my God, I'm jotting all of this down and crazy. I know it's a lot of information in a short amount of time. So the 30 Days to Healthy Living program and beyond, all right, this is what you also get. So you get all of the products, right? And then you get all of this support, okay? So you get 30 Days to Healthy Living support guide. So that's got lots of information in there to set you off on the right foot. You get to join one of our closed Facebook community groups where there are heaps of people in there, going on the program, going on the 30 days, at the same time as you are. And there is information and suggestions and even documentaries so you can amplify your understanding and your knowledge base, because knowledge is power, let's face it. There's so much stuff going in there. There's meal plans, recipes, meal plans, all sorts of different things so that you are totally feeling supported every step of the way, all right? There's weekly personal coaching as well. And if you really need extra accountability and a little bit of an extra kick in the butt, we also sometimes jump on Boxer, which is a walkie-talkie app. So we can literally touch base with you every single day if we need to, if that's what gets you through the 30 days, so that you can have amazing success. There are people like me who are there to ensure that we're supporting that. And the amazing thing is, right, you can see all those products there kind of, at the top of the screen. You're getting all of that for basically $10 per day. What's that, like 2 coffees or something like that? Like $10 per day plus all of this amazing support, plus, having an expert, bless me, having an expert like me in your pocket. Like, I actually genuinely care, about people. I honestly do. I poke fun at myself and things like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an amazing expert and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, all I want is to help people. Like I actually do, because I come from the place of knowing. As I said at the beginning, all of my studies are the boring things about me. I'm a real human who has a real human story too, who is just going about my real human life, in spite of a chronic disease, after losing 25 kilos, after getting my own health back on track, all those different things. I know what it takes because I've had to do it myself. And, it is absolutely my mission, to be able to help as many other people as I can. And that doesn't always mean coming at you, in this amount of vigor and stuff like that. But, there are so many people there to help and support you. So I just want you to know that. So look, let's have a look at this, the Arbonne price advantage. So think about it. If we say it's about $10 a day, in total, like a coffee these days is worth about $4.50, when really a fizz stick is only $1.89, per sachet. You can have 2 of those a day, giving you the energy you need, as well as alkalizing your body, as well as pumping you full of B vitamins and all the other things that we need that are so important. Having a boost smoothie a day, like that's about $9. And really, let's be honest, they're probably more like $12 these days. I reckon the last few times I've had a boost, when I've been stuck at an airport somewhere or something, it's probably been more like $12. That's your entire day's worth of Arbonne products. Like, that's crazy, all right? Subway, $6 and more. Sushi, $8. If you're having the Arbonne meal replacement plus the fiber, plus the green balancer, plus the digestive, plus, and all the rest of it, you're still only coming in at about $5. Right? So sometimes we sort of worry and we go, oh my goodness, health is so expensive. It's actually really not. What's expensive is disease care. And having to look after yourself, when we haven't looked after ourselves, in wellness, we start to have to look after ourselves in illness. So these are just some amazing results, obviously, and testimonials here. There's a bunch. I'm going to kind of flick through them, but I just want you to see, as I said before, like, health is so much more than the centimeters around us or the number on a scale or whatever else, our body fat percentage or whatever you want to say, right? Health is so much more than that. There are a lot of people out there, myself included, being able to look after myself in spite of a chronic disease, being able to use this program, on and off all the time. I have the shakes every single day. I have fizz sticks every single day, and I will do a full 30 days, probably every 2 months, just because I choose to. That doesn't mean that you have to, but I love doing it, so why not? And I'm a very healthy individual. I hope I look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And that's what I want you to look at in some of these people too, all right? Do they look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Because it's not all about the centimeters, and yes, that is amazing too, but what I love is when you can see color in people's faces, when you can see the brightness of their eyes, when you can see how much happier they look, when you can see the plumpness of their cheeks, all right? So let's have a look. This lovely couple, like, isn't that amazing? Obviously, this lady here has lost weight, but again, how great does her face look? Much more plumpness, I think, in the cheeks, not as in chubby fat plumpness, but as in like health, like, we're not gaunt or gray looking. Like, she looks amazing there. This is obviously one, with some amazing centimeter differences before or after. I believe this was in the 30 days. So amazing results, was it 6 kilos in 30 days? Does that say there? Yeah, 6 kilo loss in 30 days. Isn't that amazing? Here's another, amazing one. So from 24.6% body fat to 21.6. Again, this is, within the 30 days. But that's what happens when we're looking after our toxicity, when we're coming at our body from a health perspective, not a weight loss perspective. Because if we're coming at ourselves from a health perspective, then the weight loss is going to come off anyway. And that's how I even did it, pre-Arbonne, yes. I didn't lose my 25 kilos via Arbonne. I have lost kilos since doing Arbonne. However, but what I chose to do was look after my own best health first, implement, something at a time, to all those changes made for huge results. And this is one of those tools, those amazing tools that you can use in your life, so that all of these changes, being able to implement something like the 30 Days to Healthy Living makes for a huge result, okay? So again, look how healthy he looks in a year. That's amazing. Again, another gentleman, obviously reduced disease risk right there. Like that tummy on the left is alarm bells to me, just in terms of, what is happening to the organs under there, how toxic those poor organs are. So well done to him. Again, you can see the difference in just like the bloating, from reducing things, eliminating things like gluten and dairy. You know, look at this amazing face here. Again, this is, you know, another lady who did it over a period of time, and look how healthy and amazing she looks. Now, there is a couple. So this is Heidi. I actually know Heidi. Doesn't Heidi look amazing? Like, she's now a personal trainer, owns her own gym, was introduced to Arbonne, you know, did, I think she did 4 months. It could have been 3 or 4 months, you know, 3 or 4 rounds, and this is the result. So you can see that everything's come in. You can see even the size of her legs. Like, she still has a little bit of loose skin around her tummy and things like that. But you know, I see her. I saw her about a month ago. I'll see her again in about a month and stuff. So you know, and she just looks amazing. And again, her cheeks and her face, and she just looks so happy and radiant. And you can just see the health, you know, in her face. This is her dad. So after she had some great success, or during her great success, she then put a dad on it. And again, you can see, you know, he was type 2 diabetic. He was able to reduce his medications. I don't know if he's still type 2 diabetic now. I feel like the answer is no, because I feel like I would remember something like that if that was the case. You know, but I know in this process, while he was doing this between photo 1 and photo 2, he was able to reduce his, you know, type 2 diabetes medications, and I believe has come off them now, you know, and is living a health-filled life. Look at this face. How much younger does she look? And again, more plump. So her face actually looks bigger. Can you see that? You know, like, this is fantastic. 6 weeks. She's been using the RE9, so the skincare range as well, which is anti-aging, you know, because we want to make sure, you know, it's not just about what we're putting in our mouths, but also what we're putting on our skin. So this lady is a testament to that. So you can see she doesn't look as gaunt, which is like, you know, she doesn't look like that anymore. There's fine lines. She's a bit plumper. Her eyes are brighter. You can see they're a bit pink on that side and a bit whiter, even wider. Like, you can see that her eyes are sort of wider, and her brow isn't as shrunken, or sunken, excuse me. Like, amazing. And look at this for a great skin result. This is from clearing out the gut. You know, so many food allergies and skin rashes and eczemas and psoriasis and all those sorts of different things are, again, you know, it's all tied into the gut. And so being able to go on the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond program, and finding that we're having amazing results, not just, you know, internally, but obviously externally, and not just centimeters, but things like, you know, reductions in acne, rosacea, eczema, all that sort of stuff, by stepping away from the foods that are destroying our bodies, you know, moving away from the acidity, you know, the alcohols, the Coke, the, you know, all that sort of stuff, the inflammatory foods such as gluten and dairy, you know, and look how amazing this lady looks in those bottom photos. So good. So it only takes one person to change your life, and that's you. All right. So, you know, you just have to, know you want to, and the how kind of present itself, basically. And I guess you're sort of here today, you know, because you're wanting some how to present itself. So I hope, you know, all of the information that I've given you has been totally amazing and inspiring, and given you like a little bit more understanding, obviously, in totality, as well as obviously in relation to the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. Now, this is the special that's going on at the moment, okay? So that's just off the back of this seminar tonight that I'm obviously running. What you'll get as part of your 30 Days to Healthy Living pack is the 2 times the protein shakes. You get to choose your flavors. We generally say get one chocolate, 1 vanilla, so you can mix and match a little bit throughout the day. 2 boxes of fizz sticks. So that's 30 serves per box. So it's 60, obviously, because you can have 2 a day. 1 fiber booster, 2 boxes of detox teas, 1 box of, you don't get the box of cleanse, you get 1 greens balancer, which is amazing, you know, so important. And instead of, it says body cleanse there, but what you'll actually get is those probiotics as suggested. Normally the recommended retail price is actually $525.50. But at the moment, you know, if you decide to join up and you want to do the program, and I hope you're super pumped to do it, you know, as I said, I know that it transforms lives. I don't do Arbonne because I'm trying to sell it or something like that, you know. I sell it, that sounds awful. I sell it because I love it. Like, I promote it because I love it, because I know that it works. I know that it works, you know. So at the moment, the special is 40% off. So you get all of those products, you know, a nice little free gift. You also get thrown in a year's membership with Arbonne. So if down the track you do want to grab another 30-day pack, or you want to get some deodorant and some toothpaste because they're better for you, or some skincare or something along those lines, you'll actually get a year at wholesale price. So that's like 20, 30, 40% off a range of different products as well, okay? So that gets thrown in, that membership will get thrown in for free with your 30 Days to Healthy Living pack at $314. As I said, it's about $10 a day. We all spend $10 a day, right, on food and things like that. The other thing is, for the first 3 people, this is again for tonight only. I'm so excited to be here and bringing this to you that I thought, you know what, I want to be able to offer something a little bit extra, a little bit special. So for the first 3 people that kind of contact me and say, hey, you know what, yeah, I'm ready. I am ready to make a difference in my life. I want to give this a go. I want to detoxify. I want to feel better, brighter, more amazing. What I'm offering is an extra box of fizz sticks in limited edition strawberry flavor or limited edition apple flavor. All right, so you get to choose whether you want strawberry or apple. So for the first 3 people who contact me, a box of fizz sticks is about $75 retail when purchased by itself. So I'm going to throw that in for free. Let me tell you, I burn through them because not only do I use them, but my partner uses them. My partner takes them to his work and stuff like that. So when he's a big, tall, gorgeous nerd, and so he's always ITing computer stuff, and so he wants a bit of energy in the afternoon too, and so he'll have a fizz stick at his desk and things. So having that extra box, because I assure you, people from your household are probably going to steal your fizz sticks because they're that amazing, and I'll throw in an extra one for good measure as a limited edition gift. So look, that's it. Again, welcome to anyone who has never met me before or doesn't know me or whatever. Thank you to everyone who's attended tonight. I really hope you've been able to take some amazing things from this, and that if you're ready to step away from sickness, conditions, concerns, disease, excess weight, toxicity, if you're ready to get, step away from deficiency, I so hope that you join us on the next 30 Days to Healthy Living program and beyond. It absolutely can change your life. So look, thank you from me. Any questions, fire them my way. And I'm sure I will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye guys.